I'm going to be taking a look today at a game that I got back in 1979. It was in early 1979, and I was in, I believe, eighth grade, and it's Statis Pro Baseball. And that game had the 1978 season included with it. So I wanted to just take a little revisit of that game because I got so much joy out of it when I was a preteen and a teenager. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little replay of a game. I'm actually going to do the opening day game at Comisky Park, which is the old Comisky, with the Chicago White Sox were home, and they were welcoming the Boston Red Sox. I think it was April 7th, 1978. It might have been April 8th. I'm not 100% sure on that. But this, I wanted to go through a little bit of this game. The White Sox were not very good in 1978. They had, a weak team. The Red Sox actually had a very good team, and they ended up in 1978 in a tie at the end of the season for first place with the Yankees in the American League East, and they had a one-game playoff game. And if I remember correctly, that was the game that, Bucky Dent hit that lucky home run, and that was the end of it. So anyway, I want to do the opening day, so I'll just go through what happened in my playthrough of this game. So what I decided to do is use the actual opening day lineups for this game. And, a great resource to get information like this is a website. It's a free website called baseballreference.com. There may be a hyphen in there, but you can do a search for it. And you can find any season you want. It has all the box scores. I mean, it's an incredible resource if you like to take a look at baseball. And that's where I got the opening day lineups. So I'm just going to take a quick review of what we have here in this game with the Red Sox as the visitors here. And they started that day, Jerry Remy at second base. And he was their leadoff hitter. And he was a very good hitter, though no power at all. And a pretty good second baseman, an excellent fielder. And he is an A at base stealing, and an A runner. So this is a fellow that, I may try to attempt to take an extra base on base hits as well as maybe steal. We'll see. Then the second player in the lineup is shortstop Rick Burleson. He was a very good shortstop, excellent clutch defense factors, an okay hitter. And he bats number 2 in this lineup. Then number 3 is Jim Rice as the designated hitter. And Jim Rice, back between 75 and 79, was probably the most feared hitter, or one of the most feared hitters in the American League. And he has an excellent card, high batting average here, power, and clutch hitting. He's just an excellent player. He's batting third. Cleanup in this game was Carl Yastrzemski. He was in 78. He split time between first base and left field. So in this game, he started in left field. Even though it's older in his career, he's still a very good left fielder with some clutch defense, a strong throwing arm, and a very good hitter with power as a lefty. Batting fifth was Carlton Fisk. One of the best catchers of this period. Excellent throwing arm. I don't know if we'll be seeing the White Sox run against him, but he's an excellent hitter for average and power, and excellent defensive catcher. In center field, we have Fred Lynn. I think he's batting sixth here. Again, very good hitter, excellent outfielder, strong throwing arm, and then batting seventh, we have George Scott playing first base, a very good defensive first baseman, but 1978 was a weak year for him as a hitter. So we'll see how that plays out in this game. Then batting eighth in right field, I have Dwight Evans. Again, clutch defense rating of 2. Excellent outfielder. Strong throwing arm, T5. I mean, that's a cannon. Will the White Sox run against this arm? I doubt it. But not the best year for hitting for Dwight Evans in 1978. And then finally, the number 9 hitter, Butch Hobson, playing third base. A decent hitter, good power, but not a very good fielding third baseman in 1978. And living in New England, I remember listening to all the Red Sox games. And in 1978, Butch Hobson played all season with bone chips in his throwing elbow. So he made a lot of throwing errors because of that. And in this game, his error rating is 10. It's the worst error rating that you can possibly get, an E10. So we'll see if that has any effect in the game. And then the starting pitcher for the opening day here is Mike Torres. He was basically the ace of the staff in 1978, although Dennis Eckersley ended up winning 20 games that year as a starter. So, and was really a better pitcher. But Mike Torres is the starter today. His pitcher batter rating is a 2 through 6. So, the majority, more than half of the results are going to come from the batter cards. So, this is reflective of Mike Torres had like right around a 4 earned run average. So, but against weaker hitters, he tended to, do better. So he may do well against the White Sox lineup. We'll see. Now we'll take a look at the home team White Sox lineup. So their leadoff hitter is Ralph Garr, and he had one really good season in 1974, but after that he became kind of an average player. He's leading off. He's starting in left field. He's got an error rating of 5 for left field and a throwing arm of 3. So he's really a defensive liability this year. He is a good base runner, rated A, but not as good at stealing, rated a C. And, he's respectable as a hitter, but we'll see how it goes. He doesn't get very many walks, so I don't know how good of a leadoff hitter he really is. Batting second is Jorge Orta, second baseman, very good defensive player, decent hitter, power for a second baseman, so he's batting second. Batting third is the first baseman, Lamar Johnson. This was not Johnson's best year as a player, but he's a fairly good defensive first baseman, and he had a decent batting average, but not much power for a first baseman. Batting cleanup was Bobby Bonds. Now, to get the Bobby Bonds card, I had to go to the Texas Rangers deck because Bonds played, about 22 games at the beginning of the season with the White Sox before he was traded to the Rangers. And then I believe the Rangers traded him in this season a little bit later on, but his card's with the Rangers deck, but he started this game for the White Sox. An excellent hitter as far as power. Not the best batting average, but a decent power hitter. Fast base runner, an A. Speed on base running, he's an A, but he's also steals an A. He's playing right field, and he's got a T5 throwing arm, so I don't know if the Red Sox are going to be running on him. Cleanup, Bobby Bonds. Then batting fifth, the designated hitter is Ron Blomberg. I had to make his card by using the fringe player chart because he didn't play enough games to be one of the regular cards, but he was the opening day designated hitter. Not a great hitter. We see why he ended up not playing that many games, but he's a left-handed power hitter, and he did start and batted fifth in this game. Batting sixth was Chet Lemon. He is the center fielder. He's a decent outfielder, excellent hitter, power. So I expect to see great things from Chet Lemon in this game. And then batting seventh, Eric Soderholm. He's the third baseman. He's a pretty good third baseman. Error rating 4, clutch defense, fairly good hitter with some right-handed power. And then catching is Wayne Nordhagen. And he is a very good hitter, high batting average, just an excellent player, but not the best catcher. E6, and his throwing arm is below average. He's rated TC, so you wonder if Remy's going to try to steal on him in this game. And then batting ninth is Don Kessinger. Definitely a veteran shortstop, very good fielder. He acquits himself okay as a hitter, but not much power. So we'll see how that works out in this game. And then starting, the opening day starter for the White Sox is Steve Stone. Again, he's got a fairly high earned run average in the 4s for this era. So, a lot of the results are going to come off the Red Sox batting cards. So we'll see how that works out in this game. Anyway, that's kind of an overview of the teams. So we'll take a look at how the game played out. Okay, so the first inning, I've got a little bit more detail because it was kind of a wild inning in the first half. Remy led off, hit a single to center. Then Burleson got hit by a pitch, so Remy went to second. Then Rice hit a single to center, and Remy stretched it. He's got very good speed, and Chet Lemon in center has a 3 throwing arm, so Remy actually scored, and Burleson went to third, and Rice went to second. Still no outs. Yaz gets up, hits a double to left. Burleson and Rice both score. It's 3-0. 4 at bats, 3-0. Then Fisk got up, walked, and Yaz is still on second. Then Fred Lynn got up, flied out to third base, and the runners held. George Scott grounded out to the second baseman. Yaz went to third, Fisk went to second on that, but 2 outs. Then Evans hit a single to center, scored Yaz, Fisk went to third. It's 4-0. Then Hobson got up, single to left, Fisk scored, Evans went to second. Then Remy got an infield hit, and Hobson went to second, Evans to third. Bases loaded, and Burleson flies out deep to left field. So it's 5-0 after half an inning. I mean, crazy. The Red Sox really ate up Steve Stone. So then the White Sox got up to bat. Basically, Gar, Orta, and Johnson, 3 up, 3 down. Go to the second inning. The Red Sox are ahead 5-0. Rice and Yaz both strike out. Fisk flies out to right field. And then in the second half of the second, Bonds grounded out, Blomberg flied out, and Lemon struck out. We go to the third. It's still 5-0 Boston. So Stone has finally settled down a little bit. So Fred Lynn leads off the inning. He pops out to second base. Then George Scott pops out to first base. Dwight Evans beats out an infield hit. And then, Hobson hits a triple and scores Evans. It's 6-0. And then Remy grounds out to second base. Then in the bottom part of the third, Soderholm grounds out to second. Nordhagen grounds out to first. And Kessinger lines out to Hobson at third. That's 6-0 after 3. So starting the fourth, it's 6-0 Red Sox, and I believe the starting pitcher, Steve Stone, had only 1 point left on his pitcher reduction, so he's not going to make it out of this inning, so I decided to bring in a relief pitcher. I did not pick one of the better ones because, it's 6-0 in the fourth inning, so I brought in Rich Hinton. He's a lefty. As a reliever, he actually relieved in 25 games in this season, started 4 games as a spot starter. but his pitcher batter rating is also a 2.6, so he's, a little bit below average, I would say. And we'll see how he does. He's a lefty. We're going to try to go from the left side here. Burleson leads off the inning. He hits a single to center. Then Rice hits into a fielder's choice. Burleson's out, and Rice is safe at first, so you got one out. Then Yaz gets an infield hit. Rice goes to second. Fisk pops out to second base. Then Fred Lynn gets an infield hit, so you got Rice to third, Yaz to second, Lynn's on first. Then George Scott hits a double to center. Rice scores, Yaz scores, Lynn goes to third. It's 7-0. Then Evans singles to left, Lynn scores, Scott goes to third. Evan, of course, is on first, so Hinton didn't last very long. I decided that this game is blown, so I brought in Pablo Torrealba. He's a lefty. His pitcher batter rating is 2-5, but I figured this game's a wash at this stage. So he's a lefty also. I bring him in. He did relieve in 22 games and spot started 3 during the 78 season. So I got Butch Hobson coming up, I believe, with 2 out, and he grounds out to third. So, phew, get rid of the top of the 4th. Then we go to the White Sox. Torres is pitching a very good game here. Gar leads off the inning. He grounds out to the pitcher. Then Orta pops out to first base, and then Johnson grounds out to the pitcher. We go to the top of the 5th. It's 7-0 Boston. So the Red Sox are leading off with their leadoff hitter, Remy. Remy grounds out to second. Then Burleson pops out to the catcher, and Rice strikes out. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Bonds strikes out. Blomberg hits a fly deep to right field, but Evans catches it. And then Lemon flies out to center. We go to the top of the 6th. It's 7-0 Red Sox. Yastrzemski hits a single to center. Then Fisk grounds into a 5-4-3 double play. Clears the bases. Lynn singles to center. Then Scott singles to left. But Evans strikes out, and that ends the top of the 6th. In the bottom of the 6th, we have Soderholm hits a single to right. Then Nordhagen is up. He grounds out to first base unassisted. Soderholm goes to second. Then Kessinger pops out to third base. Then we go to the leadoff hitter, Ralph Gar. He hits a single to right, and Soderholm goes to third, but he's not a great runner, and Evans is playing right field, so he's not going to try to stretch it. Then Orta flies out deep to right field, and that strands a runner, ends the 6th inning. We go to the top of the 7th. It's 7-0 Boston. Hobson leads the inning off. He strikes out. Then Remy grounds out to second. Burleson gets on with an infield hit, and then Rice strikes out, stranding Burleson at first. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Johnson grounds out to third. Bonds strikes out. Blomberg grounds out to short, and that ends the 7th inning. So we go to the top of the 8th. It's still 7-0 Boston. Pablo Torrealba is actually pitching a decent game in relief, but it's out of hand, I think. Yastrzemski leads off with a ground out to first base unassisted. Then Fisk hits a solo home run, so now 8-0. Fred Lynn grounds out to short, and then George Scott pops out to center field. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Chet Lemon leads off against Mike Torres, and we have a strikeout. Then Eric Soderholm, the third baseman, hits a single to right. Then Wayne Nordhagen doubles to left, and Soderholm goes to third. Soderholm's a C-rated runner. He isn't going to run on Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski's a T4 arm in left, so yeah, going to hold him up. Then Kessinger is up to bat, and I decided to pinch hit for him. And I've got Mike Squires, I believe, pinch hit. And he popped out to shortstop. Then Ralph Garr flies out to left field. Yastrzemski takes care of it. I decided to bring, I think, Greg Pryor in at shortstop instead of, to replace Kessinger. We go to the top of the ninth. It's 8-0 Boston. Evans leads off, strikes out. Hobson grounds out to short, and then Remy grounds out to the pitcher. And we go to the last of the ninth. It's 8-0 Boston. And Orta grounds out to short. And Johnson grounds out to first unassisted. And then Bonds grounds out to first unassisted. So Boston wins this one 8-0. Mike Therese gets the win. Steve Stone gets the loss. And, the bright spot for the White Sox is Pablo Torrealba actually pitched a decent game in relief. So this gives you an idea. The game, I had a great time reliving with this game, so I might do some other ones sometime. But there you have the Boston Red Sox defeating the opening day game at Comisky, the White Sox at 8-0. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.